Listen close. There are 4 levers that decide whether you rise or get eaten alive. Your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. 4 forces, 4 weapons, 4 traps. If you master them, you move through life untouchable. If you don't, you'll sabotage yourself long before the world ever has to. Most people do exactly that. Their mouth runs wild, handing out secrets and promises. Their mind floats, fogged by distraction and doubt. Their mood jerks them around like a puppet. And their money, what little they keep, bleeds out through vanity, addictions, and quick dopamine hits. That's how men stay powerless, ruled by what they should rule. You're not here by accident. You didn't click this because you want comfort. You came for command. Softness is fatal. Weakness is a disease. And the cure is control cold, deliberate control. The very moment you seize these 4 mouth, mind, mood, money, you stop being a leaf in the wind and start becoming the architect of your fate. Mark your initiation in the comments. Control is power. Write it so you see it. Own it. Breathe it. Let's start with the mind, because your mind is the general. If your mouth is the sword, the mind decides when and where it swings. A sharp blade in the hands of a fool is a liability. The same blade in the hands of a commander wins wars. Most men are prisoners of their own thoughts. They drown in replayed regrets from yesterday and fantasies about tomorrow, drifting from one distraction to the next. A mind without command isn't an asset, it's an executioner. Your job is not to think positive. Your job is to become selective. Treat thoughts like a ruler treats advisors. Not every idea gets an audience. Not every fear deserves budget. When a thought appears, ask, does this build me or weaken me? If it weakens you, cut it down. Feed your head with strategy instead of noise. History, power, human nature, systems, the patterns that don't expire. You can't stop the storm of thoughts, but you can choose which winds power your ship. Train daily. Direct your focus. Guard it like treasure in a world engineered to steal it. A Machiavellian mind isn't cheerful, it's disciplined, calculating, untouchable. If you understand, type this into the comments. My mind obeys me. Now the mouth, your first battlefield. Words aren't just sounds. They're currency and weapons. They can crown you or bury you. The weak talk endlessly, leaking plans, emotions, and insecurity to anyone who will listen. Each extra sentence becomes ammunition in someone else's hands. Machiavelli understood. Silence is strategy. A sharp tongue should be unsheathed only when the strike matters. Here's the play. Speak less so every word weighs more. Don't argue with fools. They drag you to their level and make noise your equal. Don't confess weakness to people who haven't earned your trust. Don't reveal the full depth of your ambition until the gate is already closed behind your move. Ask better questions and let vanity expose others. In anger, seal your mouth. One reckless sentence can poison a relationship for years. In triumph, still seal your mouth. Pride invites predators. Your mouth is a vault. When it opens, it must open with precision, intent, and force. A lion doesn't roar all day. It roars once and the jungle recalibrates. If this clicks, write, my silence is my sword. Understand why this matters. Mystery is leverage. People fear what they can't read and respect what doesn't beg to be understood. When you stop explaining yourself, others start explaining you to themselves, and they often overestimate. That's useful. Strategic ambiguity is not about lying. It's about refusing to hand over a detailed map of your inner world to people who haven't proven they won't weaponize it. Control the rhythm of a room by controlling your speech. One sentence clean. A pause. Let silence carry the weight you don't need to speak. Link the mind and the mouth and you've already separated from the herd. The mind picks the mission. The mouth delivers it with economy. You become hard to provoke, harder to predict, and nearly impossible to outmaneuver. That is the point. Power isn't the loudest voice. It's the voice that speaks so rarely that the whole room turns when it does. Before we go further, set the standard. Your attention is not free. Your words are not free. Your inner state is not a public park. From this point on, your thoughts are chosen, your speech is measured, and your focus is protected like a fortress. Practice today. Say less than you want to. Leave one message unanswered. Cut one thought that weakens you. Watch how quickly the world treats you differently when you stop leaking access. This is your foundation. Control of mind. Control of mouth. Two levers, already changing your gravity. When your head listens to you and your tongue obeys you, the rest of your life starts to fall into formation. When you're ready, we'll step into the third battlefield, your mood, so you can stop being a puppet and start being the puppeteer. Now we enter the third battlefield, your mood. Emotions are the invisible strings by which most men are controlled. Anger, jealousy, despair, pride. These are the leashes the world uses to pull you where it wants. If you cannot command your emotions, you will always be someone else's servant. Machiavelli wrote that a ruler must appear merciful, faithful, humane, sincere, and religious, but be capable of the opposite when needed. That's not hypocrisy. It's strategy. Your emotions are tools. You pick them up when they serve your purpose, and you set them down when they don't. Weak men don't understand this. They explode when provoked, collapsing into rage or despair, revealing their plans, burning bridges, ruining alliances. Others drown in sadness, letting self-pity rot their strength. And some become drunk on success, blind to the daggers waiting in the dark. All of them are predictable. And what is predictable is controllable. To become untouchable, you must become unshakable. Anger should be a blade drawn rarely, used precisely, and only when the strike commands respect or obedience. Sadness must be strangled before it infects your will. Pride must be cut down before it blinds your judgment. Even joy, yes, joy must be restrained, because it tempts complacency. Control of mood doesn't mean you become a lifeless machine. It means you become an actor who writes the script instead of being written by it. You still feel emotion, but you decide when and how to show it. You may burn with fury inside, but your face stays calm. You may be exhausted, but your posture stays sharp. Your outer presence is steel unbent, unreadable. This is what kings, generals, and leaders have always understood. They never reveal the storm within. They radiate command. They radiate certainty. And certainty enslaves the uncertain. Train this daily. When someone cuts you off in traffic, hold the mask. When someone mocks you, hold the mask. When life tests you, breathe and hold the mask. Every test is a sharpening stone. Every restraint adds another layer to your armor. A man who cannot be provoked cannot be controlled. A man who cannot be read cannot be manipulated. And a man whose moods obey him becomes master of every room he enters. If this resonates with you, carve it into the comments. I master my moods. Let the weak howl. You'll be the one standing silent and immovable, like iron in a world of clay. The fourth battlefield, money. Most people worship it. Few control it. And because they worship it, they become its slaves. Money isn't paper, it's leverage. It's freedom. It's the silent weapon that cuts deeper than any sword. Machiavelli understood that fortune favors the prepared. Wealth is not indulgence, it's power. It funds your influence, your protection, your independence. It's what allows you to walk untouchable while others kneel for scraps. But look at the average man. He spends to feel alive. He buys to impress people he doesn't respect. He wastes to fill the emptiness that discipline would have cured. His money owns him because his emotions own him. He thinks wealth is proof of success. In reality, wealth is the weapon that secures success. He's broke not because he lacks income, but because he lacks control. You cannot be this man. Your money must serve your vision, not your ego. Every dollar you earn is a soldier, and every soldier must march with purpose. Every investment must sharpen your power. Stop spending to look powerful. Start spending to become powerful. Do not waste on vanity. Do not chase trends. Do not drown in impulse. Build reserves, not debt. Because in this world, the man with cash in hand commands the man who owes. And in a society addicted to consumerism, the one who resists becomes king. Control of money is not greed. It's foresight. It's understanding that freedom can't exist without financial discipline. A man who cannot walk away from any situation is not free. A man who depends on another for survival is not safe. A man who flaunts his wealth recklessly is inviting predators. Be the opposite. Appear modest. Hide your power behind simplicity. Let them see a calm man while you build a fortress of resources behind closed doors. Machiavelli warned that rulers should avoid both hatred and envy, and flaunted wealth breeds both. Hidden wealth breeds security. Let your riches be invisible but functional, used to buy time, knowledge, and advantage. Your money should guard your legacy, defend against betrayal, and fund your future. A man who controls his money controls the timing of every move. He doesn't chase opportunities. He waits for them to kneel before him. True wealth isn't what they see. It's what you can afford not to do. It's the power to say no, to walk away, to stay calm while others panic. If this lesson speaks to you, stamp it into the comments. My money is my army. Every dollar is a soldier. Train them, deploy them, make them fight for you. Control your money and you control your life. Lose control of it and you'll forever play the pawn in someone else's game. When you've mastered your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money, you stop being just another man reacting to life. You become deliberate, a strategist shaping it. And that leads us to the next rule of Machiavellian mastery, the art of masks and appearances, where reality bends to perception, and perception becomes power. Power isn't just about what you are, it's about what you appear to be. Reality may be negotiable, but perception is law. The mask you wear decides how the world treats you. Machiavelli taught that a ruler doesn't need to be merciful, faithful, humane, sincere, or religious. He only needs to appear that way. Why? Because people judge with their eyes, not their reason. They fall for surfaces, not substance. The mask is your armor, your disguise, your weapon. The weak mock it. They preach authenticity, as if showing every flaw, every feeling, every insecurity makes them virtuous. It doesn't. It makes them targets. A man who exposes his raw emotions to the world is inviting attack. He's predictable, vulnerable, easy to dismantle. A man without a mask is a man without armor. Your mask must be crafted carefully. In public, show only what serves your purpose. In private, stay loyal to who you are. The two are not enemies, they are allies. The mask protects the truth, and the truth, your real desires, your ambitions, your ruthless core, stays locked away like treasure. When you need to, appear humble to disarm envy. Appear kind to build loyalty. Appear harmless to lower defenses. Or appear ruthless when you want fear to clear the path. The power lies not in being any of these things, but in choosing which mask to wear and when to wear it. Even your weaknesses can be hidden this way. If you're uncertain, don't show it. If you're tired, stand tall anyway. If you're hurt, let your face remain calm. Because people follow certainty, not confusion. If you can't yet command your emotion, then command your mask. What people see becomes their reality, and perception can rule even truth. Even allies must see only what you decide to reveal. Why? Because alliances shift. Today's friend can be tomorrow's rival. The less they know, the safer you stay. Let them underestimate you. Let them believe they understand you. Meanwhile, you move quietly, 3 steps ahead. And remember, a mask isn't a lie. It's control. It's your right to decide how you're interpreted. You decide what face the world sees. You decide what emotion they believe. That's freedom. That's power. Think of the greats. Caesar appeared to serve Rome while plotting for dominion. Napoleon appeared humble while calculating conquest. Every master of power understood this simple truth. The stage of life rewards the best performer. You must learn to play that stage. Every interaction is theater. Every conversation, an audition. The audience is everyone around you, and your mask is your costume. Refuse the stage, and you'll fade into obscurity. Play it with precision, and you become legend. So, train in this art. When you enter a room, ask yourself, what mask serves me here? Do I need to inspire, intimidate, or disarm? Then wear that mask until it becomes second nature. Never forget, you can't control how people feel, but you can control what they see, and what they see becomes their truth. If this resonates, write it into the comments. My mask is my weapon. Let others walk naked into a world of daggers. You will move armored in illusion untouchable, unreadable, undeniable. Now we move deeper into the cold psychology of power. Power is never given. It is taken. And to take it, you must understand the psychology that drives people, not the polite, surface version, but the dark undercurrent beneath it. Here are the 7 laws of cold psychology. Law 1. People are driven more by fear than by love. Machiavelli said it himself. It is safer to be feared than loved. Why? Because love is fragile. It changes with moods. Fear is consistent. Fear creates boundaries. Fear ensures respect, even when loyalty breaks. If you chase affection, you'll always be chasing approval. If you radiate danger, calm, controlled danger, people calculate before crossing you. Law 2. People are selfish. Every action, no matter how noble it seems, hides an agenda. Understand that, and you'll stop being disappointed. Appeals to morality and fairness are illusions. The wise use those illusions to lead the herd. When you negotiate, command, or persuade, always ask, what does this person want? And how can I make that desire serve me? Law 3. People believe appearances over reality. They prefer beautiful lies over harsh truth. This is why masks matter. This is why image dominates. Truth is heavy. Illusion is seductive. A true player of power doesn't argue reality, he paints it. He makes people see what he wants them to see, and once they believe it, their actions follow automatically. Law 4. People are predictable when emotional. Rage, greed, jealousy, lust. These are the levers of control. If you can stay calm while others drown in emotion, you'll always hold the high ground. Trigger emotion in others. Control them. Restrain emotion in yourself. Master yourself. Law 5. Loyalty is rare and usually temporary. People shift with advantage. Allies can turn on you when the wind changes. Don't depend on loyalty. Expect betrayal. Prepare for it. Design systems that make betrayal costly. Keep others dependent on you, and they'll stay loyal because they need you, not because they love you. Law 6. Weakness invites attack. Predators strike at the wounded. That's true in the wild and in society. You can fail, but never appear fragile. Even in defeat, project control. The moment people sense that you can be broken, they'll test the cracks. Law 7. Manipulation is neither good nor evil. It's nature. Every politician, every business, every relationship manipulates at some level. The question isn't whether you'll manipulate, it's whether you'll do it consciously or be manipulated by others. Cold psychology isn't cruelty. It's awareness. You either play the game or you're played. And this is the heart of Machiavellian power. Control of perception, control of people, control of yourself. To others, life looks chaotic. To you, it must look like clay, something you shape with intention. Do not mistake precision for cruelty. A ruthless man doesn't strike wildly. He waits, calculates, and acts only when the reward outweighs the risk. His mercy is as strategic as his aggression. He acts not from emotion, but from outcome. That is cold psychology. And when you master it, you stop reacting and start orchestrating. If you followed this far, etch this into your mind. I see through the game. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And once you understand it, you'll never again be anyone's pawn. Next, we'll enter the discipline that separates those who talk about power from those who quietly build it. The discipline of isolation and strategy. Power demands clarity, and clarity only exists in silence. That's why every man who seeks to become untouchable must learn the discipline of isolation and strategy. Most people are terrified of being alone. They fill every quiet moment with noise, with endless scrolling, gossip, distractions, anything to avoid hearing their own thoughts. Because deep down, when they're alone, they see their weakness. They meet the part of themselves they've been running from. But isolation, when embraced with purpose, is a forge. It burns away confusion. It sharpens focus. It separates men who react from men who design. In silence, strategy is born. In solitude, discipline takes root. Machiavelli studied rulers who ruled through cunning, not chaos. He observed that while they played politics in the open, their real power was forged in private, in the hours they spent thinking, planning, anticipating. A mind surrounded by noise can't plan. A man who always seeks company can't rule himself. Discipline of isolation means creating deliberate distance from the herd. It means cutting the strings of dependency. It means being able to sit alone with your thoughts, your fears, ambitions, calculations, and not flinch. If you can't command yourself in silence, you'll never command others in conflict. But isolation alone isn't enough. It must be paired with strategy. Isolation sharpens the blade. Strategy decides where to strike. Most men wander through life reacting, chasing trends, opportunities, emotions. A Machiavellian mind doesn't wander. It designs. It sees 10 moves ahead. Think of a general before battle. He doesn't rush into the fight. He studies the terrain, measures the enemy, anticipates weather, morale, resources. He knows victory is decided not when swords clash, but in the planning that happens before dawn. Life is the same. Those who plan dominate those who drift. Start with brutal honesty. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What resources do you command? Who are your allies, and how long can they be trusted? Who are your enemies, and what drives them? A man who lies to himself in solitude has already surrendered. When you know your truths, design your moves like a chessboard. Where will you invest your energy, your time, your money? What alliances will you form, and when will you break them? What appearances will you project to disarm? How will you adapt when fortune turns against you? Because fortune will turn. Machiavelli compared fortune to a flood. You cannot stop it, but you can build dams and channels to redirect it. Only the man with strategy survives the flood intact. Isolation also protects you from the poison of the crowd. The herd panics. The herd envies. The herd wastes. If you stand too close, their chaos infects you. Step back, and you start to see patterns they can't. From that distance, you can use their energy without being consumed by it. You move like the wind touching everything, owned by nothing. But isolation doesn't mean vanishing forever. It means learning to engage on your terms. Enter the crowd like a king visiting his subjects briefly, with purpose, and always maintaining distance. Then retreat to your fortress of solitude, refine your next move, and return sharper. That's how every emperor, general, and visionary has operated. They had courts, but they also had chambers. They met the world, but never lived inside it. Their power came not from constant visibility, but from selective presence. Remember this truth. A man who cannot stand alone will never stand above. A man who cannot plan in silence will never command in chaos. Isolation without strategy makes you a recluse. Strategy without isolation makes you reckless. Combined, they make you untouchable. If this speaks to you, carve it in the comments. My isolation builds my empire. While the masses drown in noise, you'll retreat, design, and return with precision. Isolation is your shield. Strategy is your sword. Together, they ensure you never kneel, never drift, never beg. You will not be carried by luck. You will carve destiny with cold calculation. And that's the discipline of the untouchable. Now we reach the 9th step, the transformation. Everything control of the mouth, the mind, the mood, the money. Mastery of masks, the psychology of power, the discipline of isolation and strategy. It all converges here. This is where you stop learning power and start becoming power. To be untouchable does not mean to be invincible. It means your will cannot be bent, your focus cannot be stolen, your peace cannot be broken. An untouchable man moves through the world like iron wrapped in shadows. His words are measured. His thoughts obey him. His moods are servants, not masters. His money fights for him. His mask confuses his enemies. His psychology reads others like glass. His solitude sharpens his clarity. His strategy guarantees his dominance. That's the transformation. From victim to architect, from emotional to deliberate, from ordinary to formidable. When you become untouchable, you stop reacting to life and start bending it to your design. You'll know you've reached it when chaos no longer shakes you, when insults slide off, when temptation feels small, when loss doesn't break your rhythm, when silence feels like strength. That is power quiet, calm, and absolute. But we're not done. Because once you become untouchable, a new challenge begins. The call to power. The moment the world starts testing whether your discipline is real, and how you answer that call determines whether you rule your life or fall back into weakness. That is where we go next. This is it. The call to power. Everything you've learned leads here. The mouth, the mind, the mood, the money, the mask, the psychology, the isolation, and the strategy. Each was a weapon. Together, they form your armor. Understand this truth. The world is a battlefield. Every day, you are either commanding or being commanded. There is no neutral ground. You are either the hunter or the hunted. Most men never wake up to this. They talk too much, think aimlessly, react emotionally, spend foolishly, and live exposed, maskless, predictable, and weak. They are slaves to impulse and noise. They gossip, envy, and fade into the background. But you, if you've made it this far, you are different. You know softness kills. You feel the iron inside you waiting to be forged. Power is not loud. It doesn't boast. Real power is calm, deliberate, silent. It's the man who walks into chaos and stays still. The one who doesn't need validation because his worth is internal. His silence commands more respect than another man shouting. The call to power is for anyone who craves freedom. Freedom from manipulation, from weakness, from distraction, from dependence. To be untouchable is to be free. The road is hard. You'll lose friends who can't match your discipline. You'll face mockery from those who fear your control. But remember, the lion never reacts to the barking of dogs. When resistance comes, return to the code. Control your mouth. Speak rarely. Strike precisely. Control your mind. Direct your thoughts like an army. Control your mood. Rule emotion before it rules you. Control your money. Spend with purpose, not impulse. Wear the mask. Reveal nothing that weakens you. Study cold psychology. Understand what drives people. Embrace isolation. Build strength in silence. Live with strategy. Move with intent. Most men will nod at these words and forget them. You must not. Discipline is hard, but regret is harder. Each small act of control builds the fortress of your power. Each decision to remain calm when others panic, silent when others boast, patient when others rush, adds a brick to your empire. Ask yourself now, will you remain a pawn, reacting and obeying, or rise above deliberate, unreadable, untouchable? The call to power has already sounded. The only question left is, will you answer it? Declare it now. I answer the call to power. Because power is not given. It's forged through silence, through strategy, through control. And when you finally master yourself, you'll stop chasing the world. You'll bend it. That is the way of the untouchable.